Welcome to In an Instant. My name is Ben, and although I vowed when I started this channel to never do an unboxing video, if there was any time to make an exception, I believe it's today. My dream camera has arrived in the mail, the Hasselblad 500 CM, and I just feel like I gotta get this on camera, opening this and talking a little bit about why I bought it. So why don't we get into it, because I can't wait any longer.
The kind of photography that would become part of the human being. Press a button and have the picture.
Okay, so while I haven't seen that many unboxing videos before, it's just not really a thing I watch. I assume this one's gonna be slightly unusual because I feel when you're unboxing something, typically on YouTube, you're taking it out of its original packaging. That's not what's happening here. This is a old camera, and it is not in its original packaging. I'm gonna be taking it out of these beautiful FedEx boxes that arrived from Japan incredibly fast. I literally bought this camera like 3 days ago and it arrived from Japan. I don't even really understand how shipping works. But at any rate, this is a very exciting day for me. The Hasselblad 500 CM or 500C or any of the Hasselblad cameras hold a specific weight, I think, in my life. For a couple of reasons. One of which is that I do have some family lineage with using the Hasselblad series of cameras. My step-grandfather, which I've never used that term before and it sounds insane, but I guess that's what you would call him. He was an amazing photographer, and he was one of the lead photographers at Milk Studios, which is one of the most historic and world-famous studios in New York. His name was Al Barson, and the Hasselblad 500 series was something that he was using constantly in his day-to-day work. It was an absolute workhorse camera for studio photographers, as I'm sure many of you know. When I got to shoot at Milk a few years ago, I came across a Hassy, and I had to snap a quick picture. The studio was incredible. It was amazing walking through the space that he used to work in every day. Unfortunately, I never met him. He passed before I was born, but the bond is still there through family history. And my mom, who was a photo assistant in her early days, was working hard with these photographers that were using these Hassies and assisting with them. So she was very familiar with these cameras. And the other reason that it has such significance to me, and this is an obvious one, and I think a lot of people think about this, is that obviously the Hasselblad cameras were the cameras that were brought to the moon. Now, for I think a lot of photographers, that's more of a fun fact about Hasselblad, and it's certainly something that the company holds dear, and it's the face of their marketing campaign even today, because it's one of the most amazing things ever that these cameras are used on the moon by the Apollo astronauts. But for me, it holds a little bit more weight, I think, because of my deep love and interest in astronomy as a discipline. I studied it in college, and the legendary photos that came out of those Hassies on the moon are just the photos that I've looked at for inspiration throughout my life as I look toward the freaking stars. So my love and passion for astronomy is very tied to this camera. And so it's something that I've always wanted. Ever since I was a little kid, I was like, what the heck is that thing? It's gorgeous. It's amazing. These are the most gorgeous cameras ever. So I'm sure you're just like, Ben, why don't you just freaking open the boxes? Let's open the boxes. Wow. Okay, so we've got two boxes here. This is the camera body, and this is the lens, which I purchased separately because first of all, you can buy the Hasselblad in many different components and assemble it yourself. And I was trying to break down the pricing of how that would work, and it just did not seem like I would save any money really doing that at a core level. But I do think I saved money buying these components separately. I'm trying to think of what we should open first. Let's open the lens first. I feel like the camera is something. I'm trying not to dox myself, make sure my address isn't visible here. Okay. Not trying to be hunted down. Although I can't wait to meet all of you, I'm sure. Okay, so this, oh my God, this is crazy that this is happening right now. This is the 80mm 2.8 Chrome Edition lens. This is why you watch YouTube, is to watch people struggle with like various plastics. Oh my God, oh my God. Holy crap. Oh my gosh. This thing is unbelievably gorgeous, and just the glass is in incredible condition. The thing about Hassies and their various components is that they were used so strenuously in studios that a lot of them are just beat up. I mean, if you look at Hasselblad 500s on eBay, they are just, some of them are in hilarious condition. They look like they were thrown to like off a boat and were recovered from the bottom of the ocean. So when you get something that's really in good shape like this, you cherish it because it means that A, it was taken care of, maybe even not used that much, which is appealing because it's less prone to failure, although these things are solid. This lens is very heavy. I'm sort of surprised by the weight of it. To speak on the lens itself, the reason I got the 80mm was because I really like that focal length for 6x6, and I use a 90mm predominantly on my RB67, so I figured 80 was a good option. Plus, it's freaking 2.8. I mean, the fact that you can shoot that wide open on 6.6 is going to be ridiculous. I've never shot that wide open on any format beyond digital, I guess. I mean, like, you know, Super 35 or full frame. So this is going to be amazing to experience. And woof, this thing is just gorgeous. Thankfully, the lens is prepared to shoot, and there's no issue there. So I will be able to mount this without any hassle. And the reason that I got the chrome version of this lens is because it reminded me more of the lunar cameras, the 500 ELs that were used on the moon. They did have black lens components, but there was like silver hoods, and some of the lenses were actually silver. But anyway, at any rate, the chrome version of this lens paired with the silver and black version of the camera, I think is just like the look that I was always nostalgic for. So I was like, if I'm gonna invest in this camera, I may as well get the thing that I've always wanted, the version that I've always wanted of it. Oh, okay. This is crazy. You know, when I started this channel too, I wasn't the guy that I wanted my reactions to everything to be captured on camera and become like, I gotta vlog my life now. But this is definitely the exception where it's like, this is a camera that I'm gonna have for my entire life. And this is the moment that I open the packaging. I'm gonna take so many photos on this thing. So many memories will be captured with this. And this is the first time that my eyes are seeing it. And that's very exciting to me, as you can tell. Okay, more plastic to wrestle with. Oh my gosh. Wow. Oh my God, guys. Oh my gosh. Wow. Wow. This is one of the most beautiful things I've ever held. I'm like, I'm almost speechless. This is absolutely, I mean, to think that this is mine, you know, this is my white whale. This is presumably the last camera I will ever buy. And on like a practical level, like this is gonna be the last camera that I use on like a daily driver kind of level. I might buy stuff for reviews or to test or for a specific purpose. But in terms of like the cameras that I'm gonna use now, this is perhaps the last analog camera that I will ever use. Oh my gosh, and the condition is unbelievable. I mean, it was a high stakes game going on eBay and perusing these things. A lot of them have rust, which is not a good sign because rust on a camera like this, even if it's minimal, can be indicative that there's rust inside the camera, which is not a good sign, and it's something you absolutely want to avoid because at that point you're gonna have to repair it and you're gonna be spending more than if you just bought a cleaner camera. Wow. All right, let's mount the lens on it. Let's see what this baby looks like. All right. Oh, wow. I've said wow so many times in this video. I'm so sorry about that. But this is just my raw reaction to this. Seeing the fully assembled product is gobsmacking. All right, let's fire the shutter. Oh my God. To avoid me just staring at this thing speechless, I guess I'll talk a little bit more about the thing that brought me to buy this. First of all, it's obviously my white whale, like I said, but you may think, well, what a superfluous purchase, Ben. I mean, do you really need a freaking Hasselblad? You have a Mamiya RB67, which, you know, maybe I'll sell. It depends on how my workflow goes with these two cameras, but, you know, it's something where the price is very high. The price is much higher than it was even 5 years ago. When I first looked at buying this camera, I wish I had at the time because the camera is probably 2 times as expensive now. There was a time when you could get these bodies for very cheaply because film had died and I don't know, people just didn't see the value in buying this for that much money as like a collectible. It just didn't have that appeal, and people thought, well, these are dead cameras, so the value dropped a lot. But now the value has skyrocketed because interest in film is way up. That being said, I don't feel terrible about the value that I paid for the camera because it's a Hasselblad. This is what the camera's worth. Just because the prices were arbitrarily very low a few years ago because there was a crash in the industry doesn't mean it's not worth the price that I paid for it now. And like I said, this is the camera that I plan to have with me for the rest of my life. And there's really not even a price you can put on that. And, you know, on a personal level, I work very, very hard. I am balancing my video career, my photo career. So obviously I invest in a lot of film-based things that I don't particularly need because I mostly shoot digital for my professional work. But this is something that I've just always wanted. And this is like a personal reward, I guess you could say. A birthday gift that's 4 months early, or a Christmas gift that's 1 month late. For just, even really just existing on this planet. I think we all deserve to treat ourselves a little bit for making it through day in and day out. It's been a really tough couple years. And something like this, seeing something like this, represents more than just a camera. It's a reward for making it through, for persevering through some really tough times, and for still working hard and never losing hope and never losing creative passion, which is what I'm gonna pour into this camera. And I already have some projects that I have in mind for this thing, and I really can't wait to share that with you guys. So if you wanna see more content coming out of the Hassy, drop a comment for your boy. I hope you enjoyed this unusual in an instant episode. I know this is very different than what I usually do, but hopefully this little insight was of some value to you or moderately entertaining. And thank you for watching in an instant. Go ahead and whine that subscribe button. Stay tuned for more reviews, breakdowns, shoots, lounge episodes, and all things instant.